they are attacking farmers, they are kidnapping people, and they are extorting ransom. So just 4 days ago, I used a stage play, to motivate and inspire people to stand up and confront them. We may not have the AK-47 to fight, but when you inspire people, you strengthen their spirit to believe that these are people that can be defeated at such a time. And the cooperation that is needed with security agencies should be achieved. So if you use film for people to watch and see how at least such criminal activities was defeated in Algeria, you now inspire them and they have hope that this will end someday. And that is very important as far as the war is concerned. We are living in one of the most dangerous periods in the history of our country. 2,100 will be in the next 74 years. What will be the future of our country? Who will be the kind of Nigerians that are there? I'm not going to be there. You're not going to be there. But the future generation will read about us and the problems we faced. Now we're talking of AI, we're talking of internet, but the next generation will be talking of something else. Things that we consider luxury, modern, sophisticated, advanced in our era, in our time, will just be ordinary and be relics in their own time, in the future. So, but what they will be left with to know about us are books, are movies, are films that we have kept for them to come and see. You are in my house here in Kaduna, and this is 2026. 2,126 will be in the next 100 years. I will not be in this house. My children will not be in this house. And the whole world will change. There may be Nigeria and there may not be Nigeria, but there will be Kaduna as a city. And this generation, when they come, if they can go through the history books and read about us, at least they will have footages of all these things that happen. So we shouldn't see films as simply a screen component of love, of passion, but should be seen as an important. And then build an app and then succeed in life. It will inspire younger people in northern Nigeria to think of doing that. So if you have, I read a story about a lady called Campbell. She's from the UK. She moved away from the comfort of her home and traveled to Syria, I think in the Erbil region. And she picked up arms to fight with the women who were persecuted. And she was killed. I see her as an icon, as a heroine that should inspire people to know that wherever your conscience drives you, your conviction drives you, is where you are needed to make a historic change for the whole of humanity. So this is my own thinking as far as films and movies are concerned.
Do you think film also has a role to play, and other cultural activities, in reminding people what we have and also where we've come from, in order to be able to engage them in conversations about the future? Because social media and films as well can be very much around the future, and we could be moving to here, we could be moving forward, and let's go on this economic journey and improve northern Nigeria. Like I said, this young boy, the talent we have for creating drones and creating apps, but also we need to use culture, and that I like the theme of the Kaduna International Film Festival of Cultural Renaissance, which is getting culture to come back to being not just showing you what a place is like, but where a place has come from and what it means and what informs things?
Yesterday we had the opening of the 9th Kaduna International Film Festival here at the theatre of the Kaduna State University. And I was so impressed by the theme of that festival, which is cultural renaissance. By culture, it means our way of life, our tradition, our food, our values, our identity. And by renaissance means the rebirth of those things. If you talk of cultural renaissance, we are talking about bringing those values that give every human being a moral badge, that despite we are in a world moving at a fast pace of technology and sciences, we should not forget those human values of our respect, of our identity, of our tradition, those things that makes us animals with dignity and respect. So I have said it in every respect that this festival and this film festival is one opportunity for the younger generation, especially the thing, that we come from a certain point. There was a point in our history as human beings, as Nigerians, as Africans, as people of the world, where respect, human dignity, value, and honor was the gold, was the diamond, and was the silver at that very moment. And for them to know that as we advance into an endless cosmic space of technological advancement, we must keep those values with us. For us to always remind ourselves that we should be accountable in terms of what we do to each other. The Gen Zs are different species of human beings compared to the millennials and the Gen X, because you see them rebellious, you see them riotous, you see them revolting, and they also have a universal tendencies, because the Gen Zs of China, of India, of Brazil, of Argentina, of UK, France, Philippines, they think like the Gen Zs of Nigeria, of Kenya, of Algeria, of Egypt, Tunisia, and Morocco. So you can see the universality of their thought. But
Let me stop you there and we'll take a third break. Globally, Gen Zers across the world. Do you see hope for the future? You spoke about 2100, you won't be here, I won't be here. Do you see hope for the future in what you see young people that are considered activists now on social media talking to each other about that shared, rather than having to read a book or a pamphlet or a newspaper that's been created under regimes? Now with that, we've got young activists you were talking about in China and different places being able to speak to young activists here in northern Nigeria.
Yeah, you see, it's just like what I've said. The social media generation, which is the Gen Zs, um, have the positive sides of the benefits of being Gen Z and also the negative sides. We are able to, from the social media system, connect to each other, but they also remain disconnected. When families sit down for dinner, they are supposed to be eating and talking to each other, but people sit down to eat and be scrolling their phones. So you can see how you can be together and not be together. Someone you wish to see for so long will visit you as a guest. And after you had some 5 minutes discussion, and both of you will now start browsing your phones. When girlfriend visit boyfriends or boyfriend visit girlfriends, after 1 or 2 session with each other, everyone pick his phone. In the days of the past, when you have visitors to your sitting room, they pick a family album and go through it. There is a calendar that was in a wall that has beautiful pictures. There is a yellow book for phones. You have the wall clock, all there, and you have the TV. Now, these times of humanity, the TV is gone. Most people don't watch TV. The family album is gone. The wall clock, nobody is interested in it. The wall calendar is no more in use. So everything goes to the phone. And the tradition of inviting a photographer to come and shoot for a whole family is also gone. So this is the disconnect within the social media system. In the next 100 years, there will be greater scientific and technological advancement in all fields. We will come to know what we don't know. We'll come to know more what we have limited knowledge of. But what will suffer as we move to the endless space of time are those things that are today showing sign of crack. There will be less people interested in keeping cultures. There will be less people interested in keeping religious laws and values. There will be less people interested in keeping family values. These are things that are presently even crashing. In the past, people marry at a very young age. Now people reach old ages without even a wife. Without it, more people visit worshiping centers. In the present, it's less. And topics which were taboo culturally and religiously are now being challenged by young people on social media. There are things you cannot say to your children, things children cannot say to their parents in the past. Now children are inquisitive. Children of today don't see themselves as children. They see themselves as your own responsibility to a certain point. And then from there, they get their own independence. The way we look at, the way we take custody of our parents, of our grandparents, is not going to be the case with the generation of the future. So it will reach a point where the future will crash by the weight of its own speed, and then it will come back to those values that were lost. Just like now, you see the fashion of the 60s and 50s are now brought back. So also, as humanity continue to move at this phase, when it crashes in where it is going, it will now return back to those values that it has forgotten. So this is the way I look at it in the next 100 years, when we have all been forgotten.
We've forgotten about it.
Yes.
So, just bringing this completely up to date now with your role within politics, do you see, when you look at politics globally, it seems very much around sort of personality-driven sound bites, populism, doing things that are going to get you a vote to get re-elected. How do you take what you've done in your life, how you've lived your life, the things you've been involved in your life, the things that you've experienced, for example, and how do you bring that to work as a senator every day to benefit the people that you represent?
Now, you see, we are still a third world country, and not everyone is on the internet, not everyone is on social media. Most people today, particularly in this part of the country, still depend on radio as a source of their own information. We are now trying to hold on to the values of the past while we keep pace with the advance in science and technology. But a certain point will reach where the future generation are not interested in the values of the past, and they simply move on. And the price we're going to pay for the future has to do with the fact that we are not giving our children the kind of discipline that our parents gave us. People now love their children to the point that they don't want to discipline them. In the past, if you do anything wrong in the school, you can be punished. You can be whipped. You can be seriously penalized for doing that. But parents now don't want their children being penalized, being punished, for the simple reason that they pay a lot of money to the school that admitted their children. And as for the schools too, they operate schools as businesses. So they need more children. They need more students to be with them. And they don't want parents to pull out their children. And then you see them trying to do everything possible to the detriment of discipline and education standard in order to please the children. There was a time I attended one of the graduation ceremonies, and it was a prize-giving day. And I realized almost all the students who are graduating are given one prize or another. And it's supposed to. You are giving someone prize for attending classes, someone prize for dressing well, someone prize for being the neatest student, someone prize for good in speaking English. And all is to appease the parents that your child has done good and that bring more children to our school. So this is the foundation we are laying for the future. We were a product of public schools, public primary school, public secondary school, and public universities. And at that very time, our parents paid little for our education. But now everything has become so commercialized to the point that you see proprietors of private universities giving distinction and first class honors to students. So students in public in private schools now are all passing their papers because the whole thing has become a business. Now, I'm trying to tell you that this is the kind of generation we are building for the future. When you give them an assignment to do at home, they go to ChatGPT and get the solutions for it. Student doctors, student lawyers, student engineers are no more spending time trying to use their brain and research on things. They simply paste, copy from the internet and then paste. And to the point that the line between artificial intelligence and natural intelligence is closing. One app will tell you that this is the answers you have. There will be another app to moralize those things and remove any traces of being an AI. So you can see the problem. Like recently now, Jason Addy from the University of Cambridge, who was found dead after he was found to have plagiarized in his tests. Now you ask yourself, humanity was so happy when AI was created, when ChatGPT was created. But now it becomes a problem. Now in Australia, in France, and countries of the world, they are thinking of banning children under 16 from having access to the internet. Now, many countries, Sweden and others, are returning back to textbooks and back to traditional way of learning, because it's clear that we are heading to do as far as the present world is concerned. So I see myself as a senator, one that will carry along both the old and new generation, and that will bring development and progress to my society using the realities of technology, but also always and every time reminding the younger generation that we come from a journey and we are product of our tradition, our culture, our religion, and those values must not be discarded.
Sir, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me. I saw a lot of emotion there in what you were talking about, drawing back from your past, but I can also see a young Sani here sitting here with a book, and I think that's not to be forgotten. So thank you very much for your time. I've been John Costa here on Spotlight On for a special in Kaduna with Senator Sano Sami. Thank you very much for watching. See you again next time.